everybody.
Hey, squad.
A little interlude there. I love that song. Anyways, welcome to Little Monsters Movie Podcast. I'm Dino, and that is Ted, of course.
Ho, ho, ho.
He's a little festive today. I didn't bring my hat, man.
You know, when you're doing Christmas movies, you gotta be Christmassy.
I am left out of the loop. Should have told me I could have brought my elf hat down.
It was divine inspiration. I saw it sitting there as I was leaving the house, and I had to grab it. Give me that Christmas hat. What the hell movie are we doing this week?
Are we doing a movie this week?
I don't know. Maybe we're just...
We're
going to have the kids come in soon, and we're going to talk about different... Nah, we're not going to do that to you again.
Black Christmas, 1974.
I can't believe we're doing a Tyler Perry movie.
Yeah, who would have thought that he did this? And he is dressed as a woman in this movie, too.
I mean, I'm down.
Come on.
Tyler Perry's Black Christmas.
Oh, this is not bloody, not gory. It's more suspenseful, thriller-like.
Right.
Very good movie. This is the first time I've ever seen it.
Really?
The original.
Okay. There was a remake a few years ago. We'll probably interlude. I never watched it, but I know what they did with it. And I'll interlude in there. But
You'll interlude?
Interlude in the nude. And this was directed by Bob Clark.
Bob Clark is a good guy in the business.
Children shouldn't play with dead things.
Okay, he's the one that did that.
Yep.
Children who
shouldn't play with dead things.
Shouldn't play with dead things.
Porkies
let's not pass over that one. That's an awesome zombie.
A Christmas
movie.
Story.
Really?
You didn't know Bob Clark? Yeah, Bob Clark. Christmas Story.
Okay,
I'm going to the Christmas Story.
I should have looked more into it. Are you?
Yes, here in the Cleveland area, we have the Christmas Story house. The actual house from the movie that's been restored. You've probably heard all about it. Yeah. But it's literally like 10 minutes from where we are right now. Two exits on the freeway. Cool. And I go every year since they've really been starting it. It'll be my son's first time. My daughter's like third time going. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're going to have a good time. Going in the morning sometimes. So
awesome, yeah.
It's actually worth a trip down there. If you're a big fan of the movie, it looks exactly like it did in the film.
Hey, Star. Our usual
we got people back?
So
all right,
Star's
great.
always in there.
How did they know we were on today?
Oh, I posted it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I don't even know how to post anything. I am oblivious. But yeah, Bob Clark started off kind of low budget and ended up in Christmas Story, like a timeless movie.
He popped around a little bit,
He did. Passed away a few years ago. He was, I think, him and a family member, I don't know if it was his son or somebody, they were hit by a drunk driving illegal Mexican.
No.
Yes.
No way.
Yes, way.
Poor Bob Clark, man.
Too bad Trump doesn't get a hold of that story.
Will we go on and talk about Trump? I don't think so.
That's the only mention he'll get on the podcast here. But yeah, I had seen this before, and early slasher. I think Halloween and Friday the 13th owe something to it. I think.
Yeah, I would think so because it's he's kind of in the shadows, and which we'll get into.
And we get a lot of the movie from the killer's point of view.
Oh yeah, it's totally.
Which is Friday the 13th, the first film, and the beginning of Halloween with Little Michael.
Right.
So
it's totally got that in the movie where it's where he's looking, he's stalking within this house, which is a sorority house.
Right. And I think this kind of harkens back to the old urban legend. I don't know whether it's, like a babysitter watching the kids gets the phone call, hey, go check the kids. And
it's kind of like that Scream thing, too.
Yeah, the killer's in the house.
Yes, he knows what you're doing. Yeah, because
it's that kind of story.
Yeah, because the killer's in the house the whole time. Mm-hmm. Which is the suspenseful part of it. And like you said, I mean...
It's that urban legend. We always heard the stories.
Right. An early slasher, but there's not a whole lot of blood. There's no nudity.
Yeah, it was a little disappointing.
I
thought these movies were...
Sorry, gals, but, we look for the slashers for some of the nudity. I'm sure they do too, yeah. But
I don't know if they're watching them for the nudity, but... I'm not specifically watching it. It's kind of like, it's just like a cookie, It's just a little something extra.
Right. Hey, I mean, but it is cool how they start off the movie, too.
And it's not like it's a generic flick. It's actually got some people in it that you'll recognize.
Yeah, Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
She's just
She wasn't bad looking.
No, she was.
If she wasn't dragging on cigarettes the whole time.
Oh no, yeah, that's the thing I was going to say. I mean, she's smoking away and drinking away.
She's like 19 in this movie, and her teeth are still look like little baked beans.
Oh my god! but I do like it's Black Christmas, and did you notice like the beginning of the movie where it's like just a black shadow. It's not the person. It is, but they go with like just a black shade across the front of the camera lens. Thus, Black Christmas. I mean, I do like how they do that, and even towards the end, they kind of do that. So it's just kind of cool how they do that. But he's pretty much he stalks. Are we getting right into the movie?
Well, I guess who else was I going to point out? John Saxon. You guys like John Saxon?
He's the lieutenant, right?
He always plays a cop.
Yeah, he's always a cop.
Except in Enter the Dragon, but maybe he was a cop in that movie. I don't know.
He's a good actor. I mean, he's played some good roles
Nightmare
for
on
sure.
Elm Street, we know him. So, let's jump into the movie. What the heck? It's Christmas. It's Black Christmas.
It's Black Christmas.
So it's a sorority.
It's Christmas Eve. I don't think they specify if it's Christmas.
I think
Eve
it's a
or
couple
not.
days before Christmas.
Yeah, because the girls are getting ready to leave and their parents
college
and stuff
break.
Like that.
We're gonna go here. We're going here. You do see from a killer's point of view the outside of the house. There's
it's like the camera's there.
In.
Yeah, it's his point of view the entire way.
And he climbs up the trestle.
And it's the looking in the windows like Michael Myers, like you said, would do.
And you see his hand, which I believe is actually Bob Clark, from what I read online. He's climbing up the trestle and into the attic window, I believe.
The train trestle?
Or the flower trestle. Whatever.
The rose
is that what
bush.
that's called?
Yeah, it's a trestle.
Okay. A trestle of sorts.
Yeah.
And at the inside of the party, there's all kinds of interesting looking 70s era people.
Oh!
Yeah. The guy that looks like Mr. Cotter.
the big fro on
Welcome
him.
Back Cotter, do you? You guys don't know Welcome Back Cotter.
They might.
Well, if you have MeTV, you might.
And then the Jess, she's kind of, I don't know if she's Oriental-ish, but anyway.
She's definitely foreign. She's definitely got an accent. I don't think she's Asian, but
she's
got
definitely
European somewhere.
And she's kind of the star of the show a bit.
She became
the movie.
She did some movies afterwards too.
Yeah, Olivia something. But,
Debussy or something like that. I read something. I don't know if it was on Wikipedia or something like that when I was looking about the movie, but I think she played in a version of Romeo and Juliet later on. And Steve Martin met her at one point and said, "Oh, I'm a big fan. You were in one of my favorite movies." She figured it was Romeo and Juliet, and it was actually this movie, Black Christmas. Said he saw it like 27 times or something.
This movie?
Yeah, this is one of Steve Martin's favorite movies.
Wow. Well, you know what? He grew up in the 70s. I mean, this is a lot.
Yeah, man.
This is 40...
There weren't as many movies.
41 years ago this movie was made.
Yeah, we're doing a 40th anniversary kind of over here.
Yeah. But yeah,
actually, it came out in the United States in 75, I think. It was released in 74, like in Canada and some areas, but I think it wasn't until 1975 that it trickled.
Yeah, so we got it right. It's 40th anniversary here now in the U.S.
But this film does take place in Canada. It's all Canadian.
Right.
That's right. Interesting people inside the house.
I just like that. I mean, the fact that there's all these girls and people in this house, and he gets his way up the trellis and into the house, and he makes his way up into the
attic,
attic area, which is just, and this comes into play a little bit throughout the whole movie, I guess. It's actually those little, you got to squeeze yourself up through there to get into the attic
the crawl space. Yeah, it's what my folks have at their house.
Very tiny, and we'll come to know that
it's tight for me to get up there. I know that.
Yeah,
I can fit, but it is. It's a tight little opening.
Yeah.
There's no stairs. You actually have to kind of like pull yourself up.
And I think they got kind of a ladder. Yeah, that's actually...
I don't even have that.
Yeah, that's actually stuck to the wall, That's...
Right.
So it's very odd what happens a little bit later on with that whole... Because that's where he goes. That's his hiding place. Although... This is another Michael Myers kind of thing and all these other killer... I mean... This must be... He's just a whack job serial killer type. But anyways, he's all over this house. Nobody ever sees him. No, he's got the nerve, like Michael Myers, to stand right behind somebody.
Right.
And when they turn back around, he's gone.
And then we're going to get phone calls later on. I'm still wondering how people didn't hear him making phone calls. He's screaming and shit, and nobody's hearing that.
Yeah, because...
But we'll get to that.
Yeah. Because that's going to be... there's 2 phones in the house. Okay, so
well, evidently there's another one. Somewhere.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
So who else we got? We got the main characters. There's lots of girls in the sorority house.
The guy with the big fro and stuff. He's
Mr. Cotter.
What a trip! This guy cracked me up. And then when they get to the, when he plays Santa Claus, he's swearing up a storm
in front of the kids.
In front of the kids. We'll talk about it again once it happens.
when it happens.
But then they start.
So there's Jess. She's the one, kind of like the star of the show. She's the one that's gonna last the longest.
Yeah.
Margot Kidder plays Barb, kind of a little, really like a college drunk loudmouth.
Oh yeah, just probably all the guys rush over to get whatever they want off of it. I mean, yeah, one of those
kind of a little nerdy girl named Phyllis or Phil. They call her throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And then there's this kind of well, she's not in the movie very long, but a sweet girl named Clare.
Yeah.
And they're having the party.
She gets it first. Right. Spoiler alert. Dang!
Yeah.
No, it's, whatever.
So let's see. Claire, I think, says goodbye to her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Who's I can't remember his name. I think Chris, maybe.
Okay, whatever, guys. Sorry.
What happened?
I don't. Oh! I dropped.
You want me to talk or not?
I thought I'd play some music for Ted.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm dying here.
You should be stoned in this show, man.
Anyways, nothing like a little bit of musical interlude out of nowhere. But anyways,
no, where was
I think we said Claire. She's a nice innocent girl.
To her boyfriend. I don't know. He's the guy that wears like the big mohair coat.
Something dropped. One of my toys. I'm gonna have to clean up later.
We should glue them all to the shelf.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, and this is where they all congregate because there's a phone call and there's some guy who keeps calling.
Right.
Like the heavy breather.
Like it's the moaner again.
It's the moaner, the pervert.
So what, was he calling before he snuck into the house?
You know what? There's a few things in this movie that make me question and stuff, like any movie.
Because they really try to pin it on one particular guy.
Yeah.
But there's some things where it's not him.
Oh, yeah.
There's one or two things where you can definitely pin down that it's not this guy.
But I guess he could have been calling prior to him entering the house. Maybe that's why he came to this house, because of all the girls and stuff like that. And he's,
Whereas I think in the
remake, he's a perv, and he's breathing heavy, and but we come to find out that in the background you always seem to hear two voices. So he calls them up when he's actually murdering a victim, and we come to find out later.
Or he's just doing two voices. I mean, it almost sounds like they're at the same time, but some people.
Yeah, you know what? The voice, if you watch this movie, sounds very, very demented.
Yeah, it's all about someone named Billy and Agnes, and I know in the remake, which I didn't watch because from what I understand,
catch the names.
Billy and Agnes.
Okay.
And they try to give some backstory to those characters in the movie, where, like, I think in the remake movie, this house is where they used to live. Now it's a sorority house, and that's where they used to live. Yeah. Maybe somebody out there actually watched that turd, but from what I understand, it wasn't very good.
Hey, Carter, if you're out there listening, I see you in the chat. Got a chat room off to the side on a YouTube channel. You guys join up and talk and all that.
Yeah.
I'll check it periodically.
Correct all
see
of
what's
Dino's
going on.
mistakes.
Yeah, all of my mistakes that I always have.
Keep them in line because I can't do it.
Oh man! But anyways,
so you never really find. I mean, the remake they give you all kinds of, stuff. Here's what Billy and Agnes did and what all happened. It's all a family, weird, demented family.
Yeah.
But are you going to do that?
No, I'm not. Not right now. Not right now. But anyway.
But I think it's kind of more interesting when you don't know, what the heck is going on. Mm-hmm. How freaked out would you be getting these phone calls and no idea what this is about? So
yeah, they think it's a pervert just calling up and stuff. And
so, Jess is on the phone with them.
Just like Scream, although he's not saying he sees them. He's just, because they think this guy's just outside somewhere, calling and...
Right, and then that Margot Kidder's character, Barb, gets on the phone, and she's a big mouth. She's basically just taunting him.
Oh yeah.
And the Claire says,
she
I don't think you should do that. You shouldn't.
Right.
And she's like, whatever. And right before she hangs up, it's a nice calm voice like, I'm going to kill you.
Right.
And then they hang up.
Margot Kidder through this whole movie is drunk.
She pretty much.
She is.
Even in the police station, she cracks a beer.
Yeah, fellatio.
But oh god, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to. But yeah, the Claire.
And I gotta say the language that for a '70s movie, what he's using that first part when he's on the phone. I mean, they cut loose pretty much every word you can think of, man. I mean, it's all about tongue in particular areas.
Yeah. Oh, and the guy didn't catch on, but we'll get to that when he comes about here. But yeah, they do. Claire goes up and she starts packing. She's going to go home with
her father's picking her up the next morning.
Yeah. And she
that's where it goes to the closet and
she's got a cat up there. She hears it.
Yeah,
doesn't hear
the
it.
cat. Claude.
Big,
hairy, white.
And you hear that throughout the movie. Where's Claude? Where you at, man? Where that kitty cat at?
Billy's got him. And yeah, she goes and there's like some dress plastic hanging. You hang your dresses in plastic. And somehow, man, this killer, he's in there. He's grabs her and suffocates her with the plastic.
Yeah,
and
a terrible
pretty much
death.
in no time, he drags her back up to the attic and puts her in a rocking chair. And really, like for the rest of the window movie, you could see her from the window. If you were looking up at the attic window, you could see her sitting in the chair. Even at the very end of the movie, when they're panning away, you can still see her body sitting in that chair.
Why do we even need to watch the movie now?
Well, because it's not spoiling anything.
That's
it's all to find out who the killer is.
Yeah. So this is why we get back to.
And he puts a doll in her lap, and he's rocking him. Mommy,
little.
Sounds like Frank Booth from
Little
Blue Velvet.
Disturbing, but that's where we get to the whole. He kills her, gets her up in the attic, which has only got a little ladder that's actually attached to the wall, but the opening is just like barely. I don't know how he got her up there.
Well, he did it.
He did.
And he keeps the plastic on her face the whole movie.
Oh yeah, the whole movie.
Never takes the plastic
and they
off
keep
her face.
flashing.
Yeah, they'll flash
to her in the rocking chair up there, and him in his weird voice going.
Yeah, he'll rock her and talk and make voices. I don't know what's going on.
He's disturbed. He's.
Yeah, I mean,
I ain't letting a guy like this in my house, Ted.
Yeah,
never again.
I know you shouldn't have done it the first time. I told you, dude.
Son of a beeswax. I'm sorry, my language, but.
Because look what he did.
Yeah. Anyways,
he broke up a bunch of crackers and dropped them in the corners of the kitchen. You know how hard it is to clean that crap up?
Saltines.
It's a pain, man. The
cats
won't eat them.
They licked all the salt off.
Yeah, and they leave the crumbs.
Stupid stalkers.
Now you're beating your kids upside the head because they won't pick them up, and I
let them pile up into the corner until there's enough there that you can make a meal out of it.
Well, kind of make a little rice cake out of it or something.
Yeah, a little bit of patty. Anyways,
kids got to eat something.
There's also in the movie there's the house mother.
Yeah, all these sororities. Do they in real life have a house mother?
I think they do. They got
because we've done 2 movies where there's been a house mother.
They got to keep things in check.
We did Night of the Creeps, and there was a house mother.
Oh
there,
yeah,
remember?
I think every college has like that with their dorms and stuff like that.
Do
otherwise
fraternities have that? Because you never see that in fraternity movies.
Yeah, you know what? Probably where the school's in charge of. I don't know if the frat houses are off-site or part of... Who knows?
I'm not in that whole lifestyle.
I've never been. So. I've seen Revenge of the Nerds and all that stuff.
Put you off fraternities, huh?
Well...
I don't know. It just seems like a big butthole thing.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. But
who knows? Mrs. Mack. And when we get introduced to her, she's coming in the house with a bunch of packages. Big, like the penguin from the old Batman TV show in the 60s, big cigarette holder, the black cigarette holder, and it's
she's
smoking.
A character.
Hey, what's going on? Just coming in, dropping crap.
And she's always got booze somewhere. A bottle of hooch.
Why does she's got all these elaborate places where she hides it.
Yeah,
she has a book.
A book.
I'm talking Shawshank Redemption style. The dictionary's all carved out in the shape of a bottle of a Mad Dog or whatever it is.
Yeah, and why she has to do that? Because she's in charge of the place.
Right. She's got it hidden in the toilet tank.
And she pulls it out by the string and just sips it. I mean,
she rinses. She's brushing her teeth and she rinses with
she gargles and spits it out. I mean, hey, I guess that's what scope is, Listerine.
What a lush.
Oh, my God.
Hanging around these girls so much, man.
Yeah, maybe they're driving her to drink.
Maybe.
But she's a trip, and the alcohol everywhere is just...
and then she gets mad, like she looks in the closet, like opens up a box. Oh, shit.
Yeah, she's got some good lines in here. I forget what she says, but I can't quote them, but they're very funny. Mm-hmm. She's hilarious.
She is. She's a funny character, man.
Yeah.
And, I think, the different girls are talking about where they're going to go. I remember Margot Kidder's character called...
It's a disturbing scene with this plastic... I'm sorry, plastic around her face, rocking in that chair.
It like interrupts everything.
Yeah, I mean...
Characters will be talking, then they'll just flash to the character of the rocking chair.
Just to show how disturbing the guy is that's doing this.
Right. I remember Margot Kidder's on the phone with her mother, and it sounds like she was going to go home for Christmas, but her mother's running off somewhere with some dude, and so now she's got nowhere. How horrible. So your kid's got nowhere to go for Christmas. So she asks, anybody want to go skiing? I don't know where she get money for that. But
exactly.
So, but what that does is that explains why she's not leaving. Right. So there's a few people that don't have anywhere to go. They're staying there, and the rest of the girls. I think they said something like there's like 10 girls that live in the house.
Yeah.
The majority of them are leaving, going home for the holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we get to the next morning, where on the college campus. Claire, the one who was killed by the plastic, is in the rocking chair.
Her father's waiting for her because he was going to meet her there.
Right.
And I don't know why there, of all places. Why didn't he just come to the house and pick her up?
I don't know.
A little bit more.
He probably didn't want her to see the house.
A little bit more drama here, and you had to have the him get hit by the snowballs in the face.
I love the kids on the schools.
Bus comes by.
For no reason. They just pelt the old guy in the
right in the face.
Knock his glasses off.
And he acts like nothing, too. I mean, I would have kind of been pissed
off. I would have ran after them kids, man. I hope you throw a snowball at me. It's fair game.
Put a rock in it.
Was
that South Park?
I play fair when it comes to the snow.
No, Seinfeld. Oh,
was it?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I may not be able to catch you. All right? I'm a big dude. I mean, I can run, but, I'm a big dude. I'm not as fast as these kids. But if I catch you, you're getting whitewashed. I mean, I'm sorry. You're going home with snow down your pants.
Oh, yeah.
So you better hope I don't catch you.
Oh, my God. Yes.
And then all he does is ask, I think, the school bus driver for directions, and he tells him where the sorority house is.
Right.
At the sorority house, I don't know, is it at the sorority house where they're doing the little Santa Claus thing? I think it is.
Yeah. This is where he's dressed up as Santa.
Yeah,
that one
I love
guy.
that part. The big guy. I think he was going to go on a date with one of the girls. I don't know. Who would date that guy? He looks like he's a mixture between Mr. Cotter and Gene Shalit.
That's Gene Shalit. Because the hair
the movie reviewer.
But it's kind of like thinning up in the top.
And he's wearing this Santa Claus. It's not even covering his beard. And he's sitting there putting the kids on and stuff. Oh, man, we were going to go out. Ah, shit. and the kid's just like laying up against him all nice. All right. Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah. Every other word, every adult in there was swearing. And Margot Kidder's sitting there, her character, she's giving the one kid, she's like,
oh my God, yes!
She's going here, and she's feeding
She's giving a kid.
And I think she says he's plastered or something.
He's schnockered. And she's like, are you schnockered?
And the kids are going,
And the kid's laughing.
I mean, what the heck is going on? I know things were a little bit more liberal in the 70s, but...
I love that part. I forgot all about it.
That was so nuts.
Schnockered.
That was nuts.
This is good stuff, whatever it is.
Oh my God. Hilarious. I mean, yeah, that got me, man. Just let's get the kid drunk. Let's not worry about booze.
We'll probably take 2 sips.
They're all swearing. They don't care. But then the father does show up at the house.
Right. He's talking to Ms. Mack about, and she's showing him her room, and at first he's not too crazy about the stuff hanging around. And it's a lot of the,
because she finds
free
out
love and I remember that one poster. She's trying to cover it up. She's putting her hand over it. It's like imagine a peace sign, but you know, but the peace sign is a woman laying there with her legs spread and a guy laying on top of her.
Yeah, and
with his legs straight.
And she's covering the butt.
She's putting her hand over the butt of it, yeah. And she makes it so obvious what she's covering up. And
Because I think somebody said she has a boyfriend or something. Then the father goes up and he sees all the posters and stuff. And he's
I don't send my daughter here to be drinking and picking up boys.
Right. Well, I can understand
but
that.
But he doesn't. She's a good girl. She's a good girl.
She is, for the most part, yeah, you know.
So,
but she does get it first here. So,
I think she was saying that maybe she was going to be at the fraternity house, or maybe she's trying to give him some ideas where she might be. Hey, if you give me a ride, I'll go down there with you. And that's when you start hearing, like, the cat. Like, I guess the cat's just...
Claude,
you know.
Claude the cat.
You know, like, she hears him in the attic, you know. Claude, are you
right there? Because that's where he's at. I mean, the guy took Claude the cat up in the attic with him.
Well, you gotta have something to eat.
So... But you hear the cat meowing throughout the whole movie. I mean, you know.
I didn't find myself feeling too sympathetic for the cat. Nothing happened to the cat.
And the
cat was fine.
Kept drawing him in, you know.
So yeah, they're gonna leave the house, right? Because I'm pretty sure she said something like she's probably at the fraternity or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna leave, and I do remember you see a point of view shot. You know, the killer's watching them leave the window. He knows what's going on.
Yeah, he's up in that attic, and he keeps slipping up and down there, too, getting a good workout.
I'd like to know, man. How is he making the phone calls? How's nobody hearing him walking around, talking up there?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing that gets me. I mean, he's so stealthy, and even though he seems so disturbed and mental, and the thing you pick up on, when you do see him walking, too, this is what I caught in the movie, why I knew... Mm-hmm. You know who's the killer. I mean, you know who isn't, because he's got jeans on,
right?
You know, and I think a brownish kind of shoes or something like that.
Okay.
But so you notice that, and they keep showing, like, there's the Peter character that comes into effect.
Oh, one thing we got to say before we talk about Peter, though, is that at the party, or maybe it was after the party, I don't really remember. Jess, this is Jess's boyfriend. Right. Peter is sort of a emotional piano student. He's studying at the seminary. Wants to be a concert pianist, and
he wants to be a concert pianist.
She talks to him on the phone and says, we need to talk. I need to talk to you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And evidently, he's got some big recital in front of a few judges or.
Yeah, I don't know what that was for. Whether it was for
something for school,
scholarship, or something. Who knows?
Yeah, no idea.
Although he's been here for 8 years.
So on that particular day,
we come to find out later,
she decides to tell him
8 years of music school.
Right, and on a very important day for him, she decides to pop off. Hey, I'm pregnant.
Yeah, that's
she have a care.
I know.
She could have waited 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing that pisses him off is she tells him, but she says, "I wanted to tell you, but I'm not keeping it."
Right, right. That she's
like, what if you're giving him no choice? Why the heck did you even tell him?
And in an
I wouldn't want to know.
Right,
but we won't get into that.
Right. Why would you even? But why would you have even told him if that's what you're going to do? Brings up some interesting issues.
Yeah,
I mean, he actually very much wants the baby.
Yeah,
Peter is played by another actor that a lot of people would know, Clare, who's from 2000. Dave Bowman from 2001: Space Odyssey. Open the pod bay doors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the same guy. He was actually born in Cleveland.
Was he really?
He didn't do like all his growing up here, but he was born here in Cleveland, so.
And then
he's one of us.
2 days later, he got shipped off.
Probably. He was. I know he's been all over the place, but originally born here, I knew that.
Wow.
In 2001.
Okay.
So, there's another guy that we can kind of recognize. So yeah, he almost gets kind of threatening towards her. Don't you?
Yeah, they're working their way
up. They have
up.
words.
Yeah, they're working up to Peter being the bad guy kind of here.
Yeah, the movie really is going to go out of its way to kind of make it seem like it's him. And there are plenty of things that sure seem like it.
Right. Yeah.
But there's definitely, if you pay attention, there's definitely, coming up before too long, it has to do with eye color. If you pay close attention, you'll know.
Yeah. Well, that, and like I said, immediately towards the beginning of the movie, when I seen his jean pants, and it's light jean pants.
Right.
Peter's coming in constantly with
Slacks,
dark
like a green
black,
shirt.
yeah, dark black slacks. So they're not. It's not
right.
the same. And he's at the, music conservatory, whatever. So yeah, I mean things that
right. Things, time and places.
Things that make you go
up. But there are some things that do make you go, like when he just happens to be there and stuff like that, like in the house or looking creepy creepy crawly in the basement.
Well, yeah, that thing gets me because there's no winter jacket on.
Yeah.
And this is towards the end of the movie. And that kind of got me going, what the heck?
Yeah.
Okay, why would he not have a jacket on? It's wintertime. But that's them trying to throw you off until the big conclusion of the movie.
Right. So I think they're at the sorority house. They get another call.
Yeah.
And they decide, the whole night's gone by. They're going to go to the police. And this is kind of a funny part because Margot Kidder's character's there, and she's huffing away, and I swear to God, she turns around and cracks a beer right in the cop station, and he asks, they're like, what are you going to do about it? They're all getting in the desk sergeant's face, and I do. I think you already said it once when he asks for the phone number. Yeah. This is like, I don't know if it was like this in Canada in the 70s, but it used to be like that here. You'd have an exchange. It was usually a word, Garfield 12323. Yeah. Or, something like that.
You would say the city and the numbers, and that would be kind of your telephone.
Like and she tells him,
Mr. Telephone
she tells him
man.
fellatio. And the cop has no idea. I think his name's Nash. And he has no clue. What is that again? Fellatio. It's a new exchange. Fellatio. So she spells it to him, and he's writing it down with the number.
And the lieutenant and the other cop later on in the
they're cracking
up, laughing, making fun of him, going, "What the heck?"
And I remember he don't get it. He's like, "It's something dirty, isn't it?"
Yeah. Yeah. Well, dumb cop. Whatever.
I like it. She gave it to you. Yeah,
and it says sergeant on his side.
Yeah, he's
a sergeant. Come on.
That doesn't mean a whole lot.
Nah, I know. But anyways. Yeah.
So that's...
Let's do a little bit more.
How are we doing this?
I don't know. Okay.
What is that anyway?
It's in the shadows.
I see.
Yeah. But anyways, I don't give a crap. I'm in a mood today, man.
I'm in a mood. He's in a mood, folks.
Yeah.
Just watch out.
Yeah.
Wait till his family
doing these holiday movies.
We got one more to go. And
then
Christmas will actually be over, but we're going to do one more for you.
I actually can't wait to get to... I'm glad I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to get back to doing the ones we really love.
Yup.
So, I mean...
This is for you guys.
Yeah, we did throw the Christmas stuff out there.
How the Christmas one's been doing anyway? They've been doing all right?
People
like to watch
Sint or Saint. Yeah. That Dutch horror movie. Unbelievable.
I don't like that. How about Gremlins, man?
Slowly. I mean, there's...
Come on, you people.
Over 200, getting close to 3. I mean, it's a slow
200.
thing. You got to think, man. Our podcast, our videos on YouTube
are... the number one horror movie podcast.
In half the world.
In half the world. Now, come on.
The lower equator.
Right. Okay.
To the South Pole.
All right.
Yeah.
We're the number one horror movie podcast in North Korea. Now, come on.
To mention... We just went over 60,000 views in over half a year on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Very cool. We just went over 15,000 on iTunes views.
We'd get more views if we sat here and just opened up little toys, blind bags and crap like that, and showed everybody what we got. We'd get more.
Let's not put it down because those people. Well,
those people get 8 billion views.
Yeah. That's the thing, Ted. We're doing this
Half of them are my kids.
We're doing this for the love of what we want to do, and we like talking about horror movies and stuff. That's why I
just like talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't care how many views. I don't care whatever. Yeah, I mean, we do different. We're I think that's why it takes time for people to catch up to us. Well, because the ones that do watch it, we're an hour and 40 minutes each week.
Maybe we should open Shopkins while we talk. I don't know.
But, I mean, most of them are 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You know, some people do stretch it to 25 minutes, but
right.
you know,
we're
an hour and 40 minutes each week. So
we require more of our listeners. We require a commitment.
We require you to be dedicated.
That's right.
You let us know what's going on. Star's given us plenty of info. I got to tell you about a couple movies she asked me about. I forget which one she asked me if we could do. If you're, I'm sure you're listening, Star. Tell me the 2 movies you wanted us to do.
We'll do them.
I'll throw it to Ted and see what he says.
I probably see them. I see lots of movies.
But after this, I mean, we're really going to get back to what we love to do.
Gotta get back into the monsters.
Yeah, somehow we got sucked into this holiday.
It was my idea.
And it's fine. I don't mean, yeah.
We got to do the holiday ones at the holidays.
Right.
We missed Thanksgiving. I had a terrible one lined up for Thanksgiving and we neglected it. So you're getting it next year. It's some guy that wears a turkey mask going around killing people.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch it yet, but it looks horrid. Oh, God. Should we get back to the movie?
What about fun? Yeah, why not?
All right. Jess, she goes to tell Claire's boyfriend, who's playing hockey, of course,
right,
that she's missing.
And that guy's played in a few movies too. He's a recognizable face.
I did recognize his face, but I can't think of anything he's been in. But you're right.
IMDb him will probably go, oh yeah, that's right. He's in that movie.
Yeah, he's got a familiar face.
Yeah.
And then I remember they march off to the police station.
I got a mask of him somewhere.
Did you? Of the hockey mask? It was a weird hockey mask.
It was.
It was like rainbow color.
It's kind of cool. Canadian.
I like just classic.
Oh, she said the prophecy, of course. Frailty.
Oh, Christopher Walken.
Frailty.
That's with Bill Paxton. That was just on TV the other day.
And how about Bug?
That has a Judd in it. I can't remember her name. What's the Ashley Judd? Maybe.
Oh, that's right.
I think where she's in a hotel room or something.
Okay.
Like that,
okay.
Kind of going nuts.
Yeah, a little bit of newer stuff.
That movie, actually, all of those have been around for a while.
Okay.
So.
Well, Prophecy. I mean, hey, that's.
Prophecy was cool. I remember.
It
seeing
was
that
really
in the theater,
cool.
man.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Christopher Walken, because.
You know what I like him in? Mouse Hunt.
Was he in?
Yeah, he was the exterminator, and I remember the mouse.
That's right.
Pooped on his face.
Mouse Hunt. One of the funniest kids kind of movie there is.
It's a hilarious movie.
Oh, I love that
I went
movie.
to go see that without any children. I'm laughing like a loon.
Yes, Mouse Hunt is
I don't think anybody knows about that movie. It's like Nathan Lane and...
It's a classic to me, man. And one I bring out every now and then and have the kids watch too.
That is fun.
Funny movie.
I'm going to do a podcast on Mouse Hunt.
Why not?
Yes, they march back to the police station.
They march?
Yeah, because he's ticked because it's like he didn't know about any of this.
I love marching. I wish everybody marched.
Well, he marched.
Like when you would go to like the mall and stuff and you see people going stuff. I wish they would march.
You know where I went the other day? Not to get too much off topic, but we have several malls in the area. But I went to Parmatown.
Okay.
Parmatown is a mall that used to be the place to go. Oh. And now they're supposedly building it back up, but now it's a wasteland. There's like 3 stores that are open in that place.
You mean in the mall area?
In
itself?
the mall proper, not the outside, but
right.
the mall.
Yeah, we used to have some of the biggest, greatest malls around.
Randall Park Mall.
Yes, and I mean huge inside mall.
We still do, but there were 2 older ones.
Yeah, but Parmatown Mall was just in the day, 89.
Yeah.
After school,
that was
hanging
where everybody
out,
went. They had a movie theater, food court.
It was great. Roy Rogers.
Roy Rogers.
Yeah.
I remember Roy Rogers. I remember I saw Return of the Jedi at that theater there, and I remember the line. The movie theater was at one end of the mall, and the food court was at the other. The line went all the way down to the food court, horseshoed, and came all the way back by where the movie theater was. I remember that. I mean, imagine trying to shop.
Faces of Death I saw there.
You saw like a midnight movie?
Was that before you or?
I never saw Faces of Death with you.
Okay.
Movies. But they did
I think we all walked out of that. But anyways,
it's all fake.
Right.
Well, a lot of it is.
Yeah.
Not all.
But anyways, yeah.
I had a buddy in high school that loved that movie, and he would tell me.
You had a buddy in high school? You said you never talked to anybody.
Well, he was in my driver's ed class, and he talked to me.
Ted would come home with spitballs all on his face.
Gum in my hair. Toilet paper on my shoe.
Kick me on the back.
He would tell me that movie was all real. And I was like, but they had different camera angles. Like when the bear's eating the guy. It's like,
right.
There's different camera angles. Who's stopping to set up their shot? Even then, I knew better. So, but anyway.
For some reason, I thought it was real, but anyways.
We went to the Parmatown Mall. My mom had to stop at one of the stores that were still open there.
Yeah, recently.
And I could pretty much just let my boy run loose. There's no food court, completely gone.
The food court's gone?
Nothing is there.
No, not closed. One restaurant?
Basically, when you walk in that entrance, you have a vitamin store where a guy was just like standing there scanning vitamins.
No.
There's like one of the kiosks. Yeah. Spencer's will be open forever.
Right. Victoria's Secret?
I don't know. I don't know where that's at there.
It's right in there, that food court area.
And like the candle place that chicks like to go to. That's where my mom
Bed Bath & Beyond.
Not Bed Bath & Beyond.
No.
Candle something. I don't know. Not Bed Bath & Beyond, but...
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, one of them candle places, whatever you...
We're babbling tonight.
Yeah, well, it's interesting.
We're talking, man.
But anyway, there was nothing. It was deserted. You could hear an echo.
Wow.
And yeah, I just while my mom was in the store, I'm just sitting there and just letting my kid run all around where the food court used to be. Like, go ahead, man. There ain't nothing here.
Yeah, those... Even 10 years ago, it used to be... At least you could go there and... hang out a bit and stuff, but yeah, nothing. It could never compare to the '80s. It slowly went downhill.
It was the place
until
to go.
they built up a South Park Mall, which is in
Strongsville, not too far from us, which is
huge mall, and everybody's there.
But it's always so crowded. Always, it's terrible.
Well, it's another thing of people not doing things right business wise. I mean, they didn't know how to take care of the place, and if you got a mall. Like South Park, a big mall, but we're going off on tangents.
So what?
A big mall like that opening up that's going to bring everybody in. And Parmatown's in the city of Parma, Ohio, and it's a big populated area.
Right, and that's a big piece of property.
If you put money into it,
they're starting to do that now. They're building all these restaurants.
But they tore most of the mall down, and it's kind of that strip mall type thing.
There used to be a big Kaufman's or May Company or whatever there, and evidently. Walmart's going to they're going to build a new Walmart, and it's going to be like a 2-level Walmart. It's going to be like one of the biggest Walmarts in the country.
Really?
That's what I had heard.
Okay, well.
So.
That might be kind of cool. Well,
if they have a better Blu-ray selection, I'll be okay with it. But
Blu-ray selection.
Back to the film, because you guys are sick of hearing us talk about Parmatown.
You don't want to hear us talk. Actually, more people started listening, so maybe we should go.
Oh, really? So we should just keep talking about the mall?
Keep talking. Malls are great. Malls are really, really great. But anyway,
that's where you used to hang out with your chick and your friends. And
get a little dinner and the Chinese place, food.
I saw lots of cool movies there and.
Well, Roy Rogers was great.
Yeah, Roy Rogers.
But anyways, getting back to the movie.
Okay. Where we leave off. The boyfriend and Jess go to the police station. What's going on? They throw the wreath on the ground when they walk in, and I want to know what's going on. We've got information, and they're talking about the guy who's been calling. They got 411. Well, they've been talking. They want to talk about the guy who's been calling the house.
Yeah.
And
because nobody. Yeah.
No one's mentioned that. Maybe this has something to do with it, and
put two and two together.
Right.
Okay, maybe, and because they tell that sergeant that's at the desk about it, and he's like, "Oh, okay." He just slips it off. But the boyfriend must have some kind of powers or whatever. I don't know.
Well, he's just aggressive. He's just being really loud about it.
Yeah, and he's being common sense wise.
John Saxon's character, Lieutenant, whatever.
Yeah, I think he knows him.
He knows him. So he brings him in. They talk. And, they start talking about these, phone calls, these, obscene phone calls. Maybe this has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Then I know we go to a scene of Peter again at his recital.
Peter.
And he's just botching it.
Oh, yeah. He destroys the piano like crazy.
Well, I mean, when he's playing. When I'm talking about when he's playing.
Oh, the recital part of it,
He's playing like he doesn't, like, I don't know how to play piano. It sounds like what it would sound like if I was trying to do it.
He's sweating bullets.
Oh, yeah.
And... from her, tell his girlfriend Jess saying that she's not keeping a baby.
She ruined his life.
Yeah, I mean, I would be. I could have a baby,
right?
And you're going to take it away from me.
So 24 hours.
So he just ruined it, and I think from that he got the whole idea that he's been doing this for 8 years at school.
Right.
Wanted to become a concert pianist. Okay.
Right.
And
so he's living in a cramped little room, and
yep, and he's just done with it. So he wants to quit and marry her.
Right, have a family, be a man.
And she says, she pretty much comes right out and tells him, "Hey, I have plans too of my own.
Right.
And just because you want to change doesn't mean I do. So I'm sticking with it, and I'm sorry, not having a baby." So I mean, it's just very. It's a knife in the chest. I mean,
that's a tough situation. What do you do when you're a guy if you got a girl that doesn't want to keep a baby, but you do.
You got a girl.
I don't know.
Crazy for me. That's a bad singing voice.
I love babies, man.
No,
I was at work today. 2 people brought in little babies to see. Oh, two cute little blondie, little bald-headed girls and little baby. Oh, so
to the hospital
to visit.
like
their grandmas or whoever. And
yeah.
Just one of them was her dad. Her dad was in the hospital.
Okay.
I think kidney stones or something like that.
Yeah, because Ted's a nurse.
That's right.
One of the few male nurses.
I'm a nurse.
He's a nurse.
And it's just so cute watching them toddle. And I remember when mine were little like that. I miss. How could you not want that?
Oh, exactly.
Then there's all the crap that goes with it that you could kind of do without. But
no, I got 2, and they're at the age that
they could make themselves a sandwich at least.
I'll just say it. We moved our studio again.
Why are you saying it?
Because I keep bumping into that thing behind me.
Oh.
And I knocked over a toy already.
This is home. This is where we started.
But this is a little bit more comfy. This is where we started.
When we started,
this is more soundproof.
There was just this table with a microphone and an iPad and 2 fold-up chairs.
Isn't that funny? I went back to look at some of our first ones, like
I think the first video one we did was Wicker Man, maybe, or something.
Yeah, go look at Wicker Man, and we just got, I think, the microphone set in there.
Yeah. How dull.
And I'm
maybe
like,
some pictures on the wall.
Yeah, I'm like going, oh my God. But it doesn't mean the conversation isn't good.
No.
We really, I mean, those are actually some of the better ones. I mean, we really went in depth on. I mean, Wicker Man, Dr. Moreau, Island of Dr. Moreau. Yeah, Island of Lost Souls, and
love that movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just listen, go back to. You can watch too, but I mean, it's not as set up as this and all that.
Right, and we've grown, we've expanded,
and we,
well, when you got all that cash flowing in, I mean, you got to put it back into the show, and oh, this damn movie. So
it's a good movie.
But
we keep veering off of it, which is fine. I like to.
Well, there's periods in this movie where. There are periods in this movie where you can kind of talk for. Oh, come on, man!
Another toy fell. Oh, my toys are falling.
This never happens.
It's crumbling. But anyways, whatever.
There's kind of periods in this movie where you can kind of. This is like a hangout movie, You can hang out. You don't have to
talk about the highs.
You don't have to pay a whole hell of a lot of attention to get everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So
did you eat anything yet?
No, I just haven't got myself a drink. Drank some drink.
You're gonna. There's the phone we should have.
Right.
Because we won't say anything.
Nah, that's a surprise.
A little bit later on, we're gonna get some gadgets
right
going.
There on the wall.
Anyways.
So, now they're gonna organize a search party. All right.
Because they're looking for the missing girl now, Clare.
And they've also found out a woman has come into the police station saying that her 13-year-old daughter never came home.
Right.
So this is a whole other thing too. We've got a missing college girl. We've got a missing 13-year-old girl. Maybe they're connected. Her mother explains that she would have walked home through this park.
They're got too many toys. You can never have too many toys. I'm trying to find more places to put things.
When I think
about, but I can't. But
you still have some. I sold off a lot of mine, especially when I had kids. And
I gotta get my Puppet Master toys out.
There's There's nothing that I really regret getting rid of. There's nothing that I say, man, I wish I still had that.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool, like when I first had my own apartment.
Yeah.
And that I had it all. You remember when I had, I had my Castle Grayskull on top of my entertainment center, my Snake Mountain.
This was when we were first, met our wives and stuff like that, and.
I was an action figure nut.
Oh, we made the whole apartment at the time. It was I had a house.
Right.
Yeah, you were in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
But my house, you could look anywhere in the house.
There was something.
There was toys everywhere, from the kitchen, dining room, living room, my bedroom. That's how bad it was.
I remember when you used to live at the apartments.
I mean, it was cool.
There was an apartment across. We lived in apartments together, different apartments, but in the same building, across from a Toys R Us. And you'd be able to see from where you were. I think you said you could see when the truck was coming in, like, oh man, there's gonna be some new Star Wars figures. Yep. Because it was Star Wars figures, those Power of the Force figures when those were coming out.
Right.
And I think those still look better than what they have out now. Like how they've changed them up a little bit.
Yeah,
I
they
still
look
think
good.
those looked better, except like Han Solo looked like he was on a solo flex with a big chest. But
yeah,
Luke too.
A little.
The lightsabers that were this long for the figure. Okay, so the search party.
Yeah.
They got guys on snowmobiles, people out there searching. Peter, Jess, Phyllis, they call her in the movie. All out there looking. In the meantime.
Meanwhile, what's her name?
We didn't mention that Peter smashed his piano.
Right. After
that recital, he just takes like a microphone stand and just smashes the hell out of the piano.
Right.
Yep.
Gone. Destroys it.
Yep.
Because he's pissed. And then we shoot back to the sorority house. Mm-hmm. And I guess the sorority mother is getting ready to leave too.
She's supposed to be going to her sister's.
Because she's packing up her suitcase and she's drinking a little bit of hooch there.
And again, she hears the stupid cat. She hears
the cat and
this time she hears it in the attic. And she decides to climb up there.
Yes.
Bad mistake. Don't go into the attic.
And she just pokes her head up through there.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe she couldn't fit through there. I don't know. But she probably could have.
Get up there.
But as soon as she gets up there, she's looking around and stuff. And on one side by the window, you see Claire, who's got the plastic wrap still around her.
She sees that.
Yeah. And she turns around. And whoever this... This is his... Well, you get one more glimpse of the face, but this is this. I mean, you just see the hands, and there's some spike-looking thing that's hanging there.
It's like a hook.
Yeah, like a hook.
I don't know, like on a pulley or something. He takes that hook, and it goes ramrodding right through her neck.
Had to be sharp. I mean, because...
Yeah, he probably had a pencil sharpener, and he made sure he got that point real good. He's up there for 2 days. Oh, boy, I can't wait to use this.
Little metal shavings. A little bowl of metal cereal.
Yeah, but he gets her, man. This man gets it.
And so she's the second victim.
And those are the two that they never find. Cops come in there when all is said and done. They never find these two.
Yeah. So they really never find. Well,
as far as we know in the film.
Yeah, I mean where it ends. I mean, down the line you got to eventually start smelling something up there, or
maybe.
The guy's got to come to... Well, we'll get to the ending and tell you how it ends, but, I mean, really...
Yeah, we'll spoil the whole end for you. Yeah. Don't worry about that. We do it for every movie, so we'll do it this one.
Why not?
And,
meanwhile...
Yeah, so Jess is back at the house.
You said Peter. That was cool.
That was cool.
That was, like, really, really cool.
I should start watching Beavis and Butthead again.
Maybe we should do a podcast on
every episode?
Yeah. Why not?
Do a whole podcast in their voices.
We'll do a marathon. That would be like really cool and stuff.
Man, give me a Dr. Pepper. I'm out.
Oh, jeez. Anyways.
I'm so glad McDonald's does the buck drink because I always have to stop on my way.
Can you get refills? No.
I don't think I could go back through the drive-thru and ask them to fill it.
I don't know. Well, if you walk in and pretend you were sitting off to the side, can you go in?
I don't know. I used to work there. I mean,
can you walk back up and go?
Cooking. I didn't do the. I hated dealing with customers.
This was before you were a male nurse.
Yeah, that's how I paid my way through school, man. Flipping burgers, telling managers that they need to get a life. I need those Macs. That's not all you need.
Well, you were at the nursing home,
and then I worked
like a nursing assistant.
Yep.
And that was a crappy job.
You know what? I liked that job. It was probably my favorite job, even more than I have now. Yeah. Those old people were very interesting.
That's where I met my wife at. I mean, him and her both worked there. So
yeah, I met my wife there.
And I could see. I mean, you worked there for a long time, 10 years.
11 years.
11 years. Okay.
11 years I worked there.
Wow.
And but yeah, it was always cool to listen to their stories, and I listened to some really interesting stories.
Right, the residents themselves. Yeah. I mean, what they have to say. I took care of a guy
named, I won't say his name.
Right.
But he
left.
He robbed a bank with a few other guys. Spent time in prison for it. And he said when he got out, I asked him how much he got. He would never tell me how much they got. He just kept saying it wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth it. And, he was in this little old man chair, and he said, he's like, yeah, we had rods. And he held his hand like this.
We had rods, see? We had rods, see?
He said we had rods. I'll never forget. And, they got out, whatever, however long he was in there. And,
go get him with my rod, see?
He said, like, the one guy who didn't want to carry a rod, he's the one that ended up narking on him.
Yeah.
And he said it took 6 months for them to catch him. I don't know how long he was in jail for.
Wow.
But he said like several months after he got out, he got drafted into World War II. And he was a tail gunner. A tail gunner was you had to be like a smaller guy. You were the guy that was in the cockpit on the bottom that shot at the planes. And I remember asking him, if he was afraid. He's like, you didn't have time to be afraid. You're too busy shooting.
Oh, yeah.
And he said he would get out, because that gunner spot was not too far away from the fuel tank. And they'd get out after their missions, and you'd see these enemy bullets, that are lodged in the metal of the plane that didn't pierce it right there, right where you would have been. That's crazy. And, it was just, an interesting story about that guy. I remember that guy, but there's several other stories. And then there's...
Just more?
Well, there's people that are just crazy that said things that were insane, which I'm not going to get into.
Anybody
that works in a nursing home has stories. You could do stories for hours.
I'm sure. I mean,
but that was one story, true story, because his family verified. And he wouldn't always tell that story. You'd ask him about robbing the bank, and he'd just look and go, "What bank?" He didn't always want to tell it. He had to be in the right mood, because he was kind of confused sometimes. But he knew that story.
Oh, there was some scary woman that was up. I might have said this before that they had her locked in, like, how the high cheers got, and they had to lock her in there, and she had like a rosary bead, and she would constantly go like this with on the top of it, and she'd be praying, and it was almost like she was speaking tongues.
They would do that, or they'll fixate on a certain phrase. There was one lady that would just go, "Forever without end, amen," all day. Forever without end, amen.
Which is the sad part of dementia and all that other stuff, but scary too, man.
Or there was a little Italian guy, and he had a stroke, so he's like this, but he would do this all day. After his chin, all day.
No way. Screw you, screw you, screw you, screw you. Oh, that's hilarious.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
People probably want us to talk about the movie, though.
Okay,
but actually, like nothing's happened in the time that we're...
Yeah.
The Peter and Jess are having their argument at the sorority house while no one else is there. Everyone else is still at the search party.
Yeah.
Phyllis and I can't remember John Saxon's character's name, but we'll call him Ken. I think his name was Ken.
Ken Fuller. Lieutenant Ken Fuller.
I was actually kind of thinking that. They show back up at the house because he wants to check a few things out in Claire's room and things like that.
Yeah.
And as he's coming out, Peter just kind of like shoves right past him because he's angry about the whole situation. He just asked her to marry him. She said, "No, I'm not going to marry you." Mm-hmm. There's not much of a relationship after that. You shouldn't ask that question unless you know you're going to get a yes.
No, like I said, she stuck a knife right in his chest. I mean, and this is the part where the detective...
Ladies, better just to not say anything.
Don't
tell him.
I mean, honestly, Ted, I would not want to know.
No, not in that case. No, absolutely not.
I mean, I would be... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To know something was taken. You'd live to the day you die thinking about it.
Yeah.
So
let them live to the day they die and worry about it.
But anyways.
We also have to mention that in the park during the search party, they don't show it, but they do find the body of the murdered girl.
Yeah, they do.
You don't really find out... We're never really given anything else after that. Like how it happened, who did it. We don't even know if our killer in this movie is the one who did it. We really don't know that.
Yeah,
it's never determined.
We're not sure if it's a separate issue or thing going on, but they don't really specify, do they?
No, that's just it's sort of incidental. Doesn't really have anything to do with the movie.
Yeah,
like it didn't need to be
there's
there.
A search party, and boy, they came across a girl who's missing.
Yeah, it really didn't take no time. I mean, they didn't need all those people. But so they're all back at the house,
and this is where the detective starts thinking it's Peter.
Well, he's looking at him. He starts asking her some questions about him.
Yeah.
Have you guys fought much? What's... some guy just storms off. I mean, there's an angry guy. Maybe he's got something to do with it.
And meanwhile, they're hooking up the
Right, they're going to tap the phone.
They're going to tap the phones to find out where
the call's
coming from.
And this is the old school way of doing it. And I think these scenes are actually kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because if this is really how they had to do it mechanically, how frustrating. Because you literally
mind-boggling.
Because you had to keep the person on the phone a good long time. Oh, I mean, now it's like instantaneous practically. They can pinpoint it like that. But, you know,
like the old ladies with the
landlines, hard lines.
511 here, Johnson. I mean, but this is just...
Even watching the movie, I don't even really get how they were figuring it out.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
you know, he'd hear a ring. Well, we'll get to it, but...
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're tapping the phone. And so every time the phone rings at the house, at the sorority house, it's going to ring on Detective or whatever, Lieutenant Fuller's desk.
Yeah.
So evidently he has to be at his desk 24 hours a day and not go to the bathroom, not do anything, and listen to all their conversations.
Well, later on, he listens to it in the car, even though even though that's a good point. I'll go with that one.
Evidently they can patch it into the car.
I'll go with that one, but yeah.
But
they can hold the phone up to the
the CB.
Hey,
but I guess that's
Lieutenant!
as good as it was back then when you had landlines. So it's amazing how far we've come in just a few decades. So
aliens,
probably reverse engineered, man. Technology.
How else can you explain it?
I don't. That's it.
Where we came from, a few decades ago, and now we're like
totally. I don't know why people just don't.
We got something this big, and everything we want in life is on it.
Not everything.
I mean, you know what I mean. I love your phone. You know what I mean. Anyways.
I love your phone. Oh, and there's a couple other things we have to talk about before
before Phil gets it.
No, before these things that we were talking about, they were having Mr. Harrison, that's Claire's father, they were having dinner. This is before the search party, and the only reason I'm mentioning is because it's going to come into play in a moment.
Okay.
Is that because I remember they're having dinner, and Margot Kidder's character, who we haven't talked about for a while, she's laying on the couch all schlitzed, and she starts to say some things.
3 sheets to the wet.
She's trying to say, "Oh, you guys blame me for
Drunk
Claire
as
running."
Skunk.
Yeah.
You keep going.
They're trying to blame her for running off. Or something, you're saying it's because of the words they had when that caller called and she said you shouldn't talk to him like that. Mm-hmm. And she starts talking about a turtle that can have sex for 3 days.
3 days straight.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm lucky if I get 3 minutes. Well, as soon as you see those baked bean teeth, I'm looking to climb off.
It's a shame she wasn't too bad.
No,
but she went downhill.
What an odd choice for Lois Lane. 4 years later in Superman.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't feel like that movie's aged very well.
Poor Margot.
As much as I love Christopher Reeve as Superman, I just feel like that movie hasn't aged very well.
No,
and I didn't care all that much. I wasn't balls to the wall in love with Man of Steel or.
You weren't. I mean, I really actually enjoyed that movie.
I'll tell you what I liked most about Man of Steel. I liked most of the parts with Kevin Costner. I thought Kevin Costner was a great choice for his father.
He did. I'm not a big fan of Kevin Costner.
Because who else would you want as Superman? I mean, he just seems like a
He
dad.
played it great. Yeah, no.
And the only part I didn't like is the end when he dies in the was it a tornado? Yeah. When he stands there and just lets himself. And it's always because someone's got to go and chase their animal. I mean, all these people over here that could use help, you're going and chasing the dog.
I know.
All right, don't get it. I'm not a pet person.
Hey, Lorraine, you're watching.
Oh, yeah? We got people watching?
Yeah, Lorraine.
So, that's what I liked the most about it. Other than that, I guess I just don't get the whole Superman thing. Because his disguise sucks. As far as he puts on a pair of glasses.
No. The character...
Superman.
No, I know.
Clark Kent, Superman.
And we're talking about Superman.
Nobody knows.
For just out of the, But anyways, no, I hear
he's the greatest American superhero ever made.
But
and he's one of one of a handful of things that are strictly American. That's ours.
Yeah.
And
it's just a pair of
glasses.
And
we live in the city where the
glasses that distinguish.
We live in the city where he was born. And
exactly.
And I just feel like, the movies that they made with Christopher
Cleveland
Reeve,
is a great town,
It
man.
is.
Nobody knows about it.
Did our football team win today?
No, let's not talk about that.
All right.
I have no idea, and I don't
even
care.
Watch it.
We're
Season's
2
done.
and whatever, 3, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, so that's just how I feel about that, going off on an additional tangent.
Yeah.
But getting back to it, yeah, she was talking about, Margot Kidder was talking about, the turtle, and Phil just says, you're drunk, go to bed.
Go to bed.
And finally, and what I think is, Margot Kidder's character, Barb, I think she's blaming herself a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe she feels like she's responsible. Maybe she said something that made her run off, or
I won't show the actual kill scene. I mean, it's just a little.
Oh yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah, it's actually probably the most graphic one.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of, really graphic blood violence, but this is a little bit, and you get a picture of his face here.
Just a
glimpse. You got that one eye.
And I will say, in that scene, it could be Peter.
Looks a bit like Peter.
Yeah. But yeah, he sneaks in the room. She's passed out drunk, and she's got a collection of glass animals. Like a unicorn, swans, things like that. He takes the unicorn, of course. It's big enough to hold in two hands, and just brings it down.
Yeah, like a collection of crystal stuff.
Yeah, crystal. That's what I mean. And yeah, he's stabbing her, and what's covering up the sound is that there are kids caroling outside the door, and Jess is watching them.
Yeah.
And I was watching this with my wife last night, where she wasn't really watching because she doesn't dig these kinds of movies too much. Right. And I was sitting there going, wasn't a girl just murdered, and people are missing, and people are letting these kids walk around town and caroling? But then, the parents come and say, come on, we got to get these kids back in the car.
Yeah, they're getting them
And I'm
home,
like, okay, good.
Yeah.
See, now, okay, the movie makes sense now. If that movie was made today, that part wouldn't be there. That kid's just be running around town. No parents care.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, and you find out it's because a young girl was found murdered.
Right. So which is smart.
Margot Kidder's character is being stabbed to death by the unicorn horn.
So
it's not real graphic, but you are seeing blood drip off the thing.
A little bit, yeah. I'm surprised that they didn't go more bloody with this thing. But I think they were going more dramatic. Like you said, the whole Michael Myers kind of sneaking up, his point of view.
Sometimes it's more frightening what you don't see.
No, exactly. And that's what I thought of this movie.
I'm not a gore hound.
I'm not either. No, not at all.
I like good special effects, but I don't need to see someone's guts all over the place.
Right.
And this was perfectly effective. The end result's the same. She's dead. I don't have to see her baked bean teeth anymore.
Oh, jeez.
And it doesn't matter how much of her guts I see. I mean, she's dead. So why do I need to see all that?
Poor Margot Kidder. Anyways, did Phil get it already too?
No, I don't even know. That did not happen yet. Okay. But Jess does get another call, and this call is kind of important.
Right.
Well, also let's just reiterate one more thing. And when Jess and Peter had their argument, she comes back to the house. What we forgot to mention was that Peter was already in the house. Right. Which was kind of spooky.
Yeah.
You see, I don't know if she was on the phone. But you see legs coming down the steps, and you think, oh my God, it's the killer. But here it is, Peter. He says, oh, I went to go lie down. First of all, how do you get in a damn house?
Right.
But I think they mention later that, the only door in the house that's locked is the back door. Real safe when there's some lunatic running around.
Everything, every window and door in that house is unlocked.
Well, that's how the killer got in the first place, Climb up trestle, windows open, climb right in. So that starts setting it up like, oh, he's kind of suspicious. Mm-hmm. When he storms out all angry, that gets John Saxon suspicious.
But don't they say too, or am I coming up to say about him? She's all happy because it's not Peter, because the lieutenant asks.
They start talking on the phone. He's asking her,
"Have you ever got these before?" And has
he ever been there when you've got them?
Yeah, and she
said yes, because she was on the phone with him when we saw the legs coming down the steps.
Right, and she was jumping for joy. Right. And
but as we've mentioned, sometimes on those phone calls, it sounds like you're hearing two people.
Right.
Billy, and they're always mentioning someone named Billy and Agnes. Billy hurt Agnes and Mommy and weird stuff like that.
Yeah, and very demented, childlike ranting.
Right, and that's where I said the remake tried to go into that backstory and fill you in on all that.
So you did see the remake?
No, I did not, but I did kind of read up about the plot.
Okay.
Because I had heard that they tried to, give a because that's what these movies want to do now.
Right.
Even like Rob Zombie's Halloween, half of it's kind of explaining where he came from. The other half's pretty much a straight up remake of Halloween. And that's fine. You try to do something different. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
You got that straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
But from what I understand, they tried to play up the whole Billy Agnes thing, and I think they actually are characters. I think it's them in tandem that are killing the people in the remake.
Okay. Because, I mean, every time he calls, you're hearing kind of weird, different,
So
voices there and stuff. So yeah, who knows? I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, and
so John Saxon's asking her, if you had fights before, things like that, and because she's actually thinking, I think he's putting the idea in her head, and even Phil says, I'm not crazy about Peter, but I don't think he's a killer,
right.
And she tries to mention, he's an artist, he's high strung. I guess if you're an artist, you have to be high strung.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Artists don't kill. They don't
excuse
murder.
To be an a-hole. I mean.
Yeah, for some. Yeah, I don't know.
But I know some people that should be great artists then.
But Phil, the other girl, is getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
And she's going to be the next victim. I'm just going to say it straight.
Right.
They leave a cop out there too to kind of guard them.
And we got to mention.
I don't know what the guy. Well, I was going to say the guy outside, the police officer, he's doing no help being out there in front of. I guess they think they are because he's sitting there.
It's a false sense of security. Well, they don't realize that the killer's in the house yet.
Even though, if you're a cop, you got to go in and make sure everything's locked up. Lock your doors, lock your windows. I mean, if I'm a police officer coming there and I'm telling these girls we need to protect you now and stuff like that, isn't that one of the first things? If you're a good police officer,
make sure everything's locked.
Yes, tight down, and
I don't know if maybe they're trying to hide their presence a little bit to maybe catch him off guard, because maybe something like that. When the calls are coming through, we start getting a look at the mechanical nature of tracing a call.
Yeah.
And it sounds like...
Interesting from 1974 how they did it.
So it's like the guy who bugged the phone, he's at the phone company, and it's sort of like he has to trace the clicking wire that comes from...
because he's running from aisle to aisle.
He's trying to follow it to see where it's ending up.
Yeah.
Like where it starts, where it ends. And I'm not real sure on how they figure all that out.
Me neither.
And he keeps saying, we didn't get it long enough. We didn't get it long enough. Like she's got to keep him on the phone for, at least probably 2 minutes or something for this guy to trace the whole wire.
Because the guy's running all around to figure out where the phone call's coming. And the way, is that really how the phone... I guess it's how it used to work.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know how exactly... they're tracing it, but I don't get what they're doing to trace it. That'd be kind of interesting to know. I'm always interested in that kind of stuff. And one thing to mention is she mentioned, when Jess and Peter were having that argument, he uses a particular phrase that, I can't believe you could have this baby, taken from you like you're removing a wart and not thinking anything of it.
Right.
And one of the calls comes back, and the killer's doing that crazy voice, but he says, remove it like a wart. He uses the exact phrase that Peter used.
Which freaks her out.
Right.
And makes her think...
that's before she talks to John Saxon's character.
Well, I don't think she ever lets him know that she heard that.
I think she tells Phil that he used a phrase that... Because she tells the John Saxon's character on the phone that I'm pregnant.
Right.
And that, he used...
Because he heard that.
Right.
He's listening in on the phone calls now. So
Right. And he wants to know. He can tell. John Saxon's listening to the call, and he can tell that she kind of paused when he said that. Did you recognize what he said?
Yeah.
And she mentions that, he's using a phrase that, Peter said to me directly.
Yeah.
So, it's certainly, from the police officer's perspective, points at Peter.
Right, but to us, we know that he's the killer's in the house.
Right.
So he heard them saying that and said it on the phone. So whether that's the killer being smart, I don't think so.
I think it's just happenstance.
Because the guy's although if somebody's, they make him seem so dumb kind of. But yet he's so stealthy and he's moving around. Nobody's hearing.
Well, no one expects him to be there yet. So he's got the complete element of surprise.
This killer's one of the actually most mysterious of a lot of the horror movies. This type of character.
Has no name. Has no.
You just see it from his view. You really don't. You get a couple glimpses of him here or there. It's not like you get a full form of him in the open in the whole movie, really.
And it's one of the maybe early horror movies that. Of the modern age, I should say, that have the ambiguous ending. You know, you don't really know what's going on.
And it went on to make billions of dollars across the world.
Billions of dollars?
Yeah.
Billions?
They've won Golden Globes and...
billions of dollars. This movie's made billions.
Ted, you're supposed to roll with me when I go. Come on.
Yeah, you just caught me off guard.
I was going Academy Awards.
Billions of dollars.
Okay.
Like, wow, really? Where'd you read that? Because I read that it made like $26 million.
Ted didn't roll with me this time.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
You gotta pick up on it.
Oh, man. Wait till next week. I'll be ready.
Okay.
We're like, whoa, this one?
They re-released it, and it came out 3D.
But no, it's certainly, you know, it didn't
fans.
It didn't get the rave reviews when it came out. It wasn't, you know, a turd, but it didn't...
Yeah.
You know, but it's gotten its cult following since, and it's been pretty popular since. You know, I wouldn't say it's a gold star, but it, you know, it's cool. It's definitely cool.
No, it's a good flick.
So what happens? So Jess and Phil are talking. She, you know, comes clean about being pregnant and, you know, not wanting to keep the baby, and Peter wants to keep the baby, and you know, they get that phone call in there, and the cop hears that. And I remember they go in the kitchen, and just a couple of stupid hunter guys looking in the window. They're part of the search party. Maybe they're looking for the killer. They're still looking for the other girl. You know, they're all out still looking for for Claire.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they're trying to tell, you know, keep your doors locked, and, you know, you'll see some other people around here. It's like, get out of here.
The search party?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be like, closing the door.
That's where she says this.
You got any hot coffee in there?
That's where she says this is the only door that's locked in the whole place. And,
maybe it's time to go lock that front door. What do you think? Little idea I'm working on.
And they go, what do they say? They say, I'd rather be with the killer right now than those two guys, and they start laughing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's a good thing to say. I mean,
not in this movie.
You know?
Not in this movie.
But this girl's about ready to get hers.
Yeah, she's going to turn in. I love the wreath on the door. It's got the little booze bottles hanging off from it.
Yeah, Margot Kidder's room.
Yeah, it's like what chicks do, man.
Yeah, I don't know. But this is where she gets it. I mean, he's
guys would put condoms on it or something.
Or underwear. It's always panties or something. I don't know. Whatever.
I'd take like the biggest brassieres I could find and hang those, like, you know, old granny ones. on there.
Hey, Sam Jesse Law. Hey, Sam.
Who?
Thanks for stopping by.
I got all these friends I don't know nothing about.
Oh, she's cool. I stop in and play, watch her doing some games, play some games with her and stuff like that. Pretty cool. Sam Jesse Law.
When do you do this?
Same night when she comes on. She's probably, I think, getting off, probably chanting right now. But thanks for stopping by. And anyways,
I don't chat with anybody.
But yeah,
I'm alone in the
Phil,
world.
you're a poor, lonely old man.
I'm alone in the world. That's all right. I hope I entertain people.
Of course you do.
All right. So let me think.
This is where we get to where we find out he's using the phone in the house.
Right. We see him actually dial
from the sorority mother.
Room. Or is it the sorority mother's
room?
Yeah,
it's her. Yeah. So I think that because they said there's only 2 phones in the house.
You're right. When they bugged the phone, but they said that the sorority mother's. That's right. The sorority mother's phone is a different line. It's a different number.
Different number, yeah. So
same address, different number. 2 separate lines at the same house.
Exactly.
And yeah, he's going off on the same Billy Agnes, whatever.
Crazy voice.
It is, and every time you hear it, it gets a little creepier, and sometimes it just gets long-winded, and you know, she's trying to endure it.
Yeah,
you know, she's
staying on the line a lot longer now. I think. Right. Is this where they
Let's see. I know that they follow it, but ultimately, yes, this is where she finds out.
Yeah,
we don't see Phil actually get killed. But she goes in the room. I think it's Barb's room.
Yeah, the door slams, and she's done for.
We know she's done for. And this is where we find out that the calls are coming from the
inside the house.
And
because the cop, the lieutenant, went to the music hall, whatever, looking for Peter, and he finds out that
piano's all smashed. And
but then a police officer comes in and says, "Hey,
got a call."
Yeah. And they go out there and they hear the call. They're listening to it in the car, like I said.
Right.
And they track down the call, and they're like, it's coming from inside the house. Classic line. I mean,
That's
you
it.
know,
Like your worst
lot
fear.
of horror movies, and stories come from this. Urban legends, like you said,
what,
stuff
what
like
could
that.
be more frightening?
I mean,
it's tried, it's true.
Yep.
Maybe it's been done a little more, but this was one of the first, and it's great. It's a great little. We knew it all along, but it's fun to see the characters react to it when they find out, what you would do. I would do exactly. Well, first he tells we'll be there in 5 minutes. He calls John Saxon calls to the station. Tells Nash, you call that girl back, because he's John Saxon's getting the information from his CB.
Right.
He says, call her. Don't tell her what's going on. Don't tell her that the killer's in the house. Whatever you do, just tell her to hang up the phone and walk out the door. Okay. And Nash in typical Nash fashion.
The sergeant who's in the
right.
Front of the police station.
The fellatio sergeant.
Yeah.
Who didn't know what fellatio meant.
And the lieutenant told him, you better handle this well.
Right. Right.
Don't blow this one.
Yep.
Let her know. Just tell her to get out. And he's basically telling her in a calm voice, kind of.
Right.
Okay, can you just leave? And just
she starts getting
go?
upset because there's 2 other girls that she thinks are up in the room.
Because he finally goes, because she's not listening, he finally goes, the killer's in the house. Get out of there. So he's screaming at her now, blowing it pretty much, because
freaking her out.
Yeah, because now she's got 2 friends up there who she's scared, is going to get
she
killed.
Doesn't want to go up there first. She's yelling for them.
Yes.
But no one's responding.
Exactly.
And
she don't want them to die, even though they are already dead.
Right.
But, and she spots that fireplace, poker and...
And what does she do? She's going to go up the stairs.
She's going to go up the stairs.
Stupids. But, that's what you got to... This is like what, Nev Campbell's character was talking about in Scream. This is the kind of stuff you point out. Everybody in the audience at this movie, don't go up there, bitch.
Mystery Science Theater, don't go up the steps, girl. Don't go up the steps.
It's rule number 1.
I know.
But she's looking out for her friends, so she's kind of being the hero. She's got a weapon. She's armed.
Yeah, and if you pay attention in front of you, you just might be able to knock the killer, a good whack.
So she goes in the room and sees them kind of piled up on the bed, murdered.
Yeah, and this is where you get that glimpse, too.
In between the door crack.
Yes.
You get a glimpse of the killer's face, and he says something like, don't tell what we did to Agnes, or something like that.
Yeah.
He says something like that. And you see his eyes, and you can plainly see he's got bushier eyebrows and one brown eye. And if you had been looking at Peter in the movie, he's got either blue or green eyes, fair. Yeah. He's fair colored. So he doesn't have brown.
Ted was looking very...
Well, because when I noticed that part, I made sure... because you can tell in a scene after this movie what color eyes... Like, I thought it would have been really creative if they made sure that he had brown eyes.
Right.
Like, if that actor had... But that particular actor, Keir Dullea, does not have brown eyes.
Right.
At least not from what I could see in the film.
Brown-eyed man.
A brown-eyed man. And, but it would have been interesting if they had cast somebody with, where you couldn't really tell.
Yeah.
Maybe it was him, maybe it wasn't him. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, when she sees that going down, she sees the killer looking at her in the...
Very demented.
Wide-eyed, like...
Oh, my God,
right.
Yeah.
Don't tell what we did.
And you can almost looks like you see the figure of her in the eye, It's very...
Yeah.
And she closes it and runs away, you know.
And you see the one hand, we never get a look. He's opening the door, and we hear noise. We know he's coming down. She don't even make it out the front door.
No.
He grabs her by the hair and yanks her back, but she ends up getting away and running into the friggin' basement. Yeah, because there's a way out.
Well, she went to the closest, nearest thing, and she does lock it, and they come pounding. He's pounding.
Yeah, and then it quits.
Yeah, and he can't get through. I mean,
right, it quits, and he's doing his mumbling, moaning stuff, and she's down in the basement, and shortly after that, we see Peter looking down in the basement window, I think there's a door. I don't know if there's a door or a window down there, and he's rubbing the ice off, and Jess, why aren't you answering me? I mean,
well, you can't hear him say that, can you?
Well,
towards the end, when he starts scraping away the ice.
Freaky. How does he know that? He's looking. True. I heard some noise down there.
Yeah, and this is where the part that gets me too, that he comes in, he breaks the glass. Okay,
right, kicks the glass in,
like he's breaking in. First of all,
yeah,
and he's got no jacket on, just his sweater and pants. Very odd.
I think when he stormed out of the house, he did not have a jacket on. I think he had that green turtleneck on. Like, I don't think he had a jacket.
So he could have left his jacket
right. I think he left
at the house or something.
But still, if you're not paying attention to that detail, it just happens so fast.
Right. You would think, oh my God, he is the killer.
Exactly.
And he comes straight at her.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And she's got that in her hand, and next thing you knew, they glimpse right back. The police are coming.
Right, and we find out that the cop that's in that car that's supposed to be protecting the house, he's got his throat slit. He's dead.
Right. Yep.
Dead.
First thing they see, he's
Yep.
The cop didn't do it. What a dumb. Oh, okay, I won't say that.
Keep the window up. How's he slitting your throat if you keep the door lock and the window up?
Exactly. I mean,
they slit his throat with a ice skate.
Well, I mean, come on, you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, it's kind of crazy.
So John Saxon and his guy, and John Saxon looks classic. Long trench coat, fedora hat, little snub nose pistol. He, shirt, tie, a rod.
He's got a rod.
I mean, but he looks like something out of a Philip Marlowe movie.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he looks
without
cool.
a doubt.
So
and you see that
Jess has
Peter's dead because Jess is laying there with Peter in her lap, and he's bloodied and stuff. But you can see kind of a choking thing on her neck.
You think?
Yeah, I see that if you look
there
closer.
Was some redness, and I don't
but
know
anyway,
if it's just her skin color or what. But yeah, he came at her in the dark, and you're right. I don't recall for sure if we could hear what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
But she's scared to death, and maybe at that last minute, even if she heard him talking, maybe she thinks this is Peter. Yeah. Peter's the one doing it. They were all right, and she takes that poker and does him in with that. And it's at that scene when her head's kind of laying on her lap. You almost think they're both dead for a second.
Well, right, yeah.
And then she starts coming to. But that's where you can see his eyes are either blue or green pretty well. So when I watch that part, I'm like, okay, well,
right.
If you're
questioning, you look at that and you say,
what movie?
He's not.
I figured it out. There was a movie, I think with Sigourney Weaver called Copycat.
Oh yeah, awesome movie. Harry Connick Jr. was the serial killer.
But when they showed the killer,
awesome movie.
He was wearing some kind of. There was a part he's wearing some kind of big glass. I don't know if they're night vision or whatever. Yeah. But I could tell he had some particular kind of teeth. Well, and then but 5 minutes later, you see a guy with those same teeth, but you don't know he's the killer yet. And we were watching with some friends. I'm like, that's the guy. That's the guy who's doing it.
I've pointed that kind of stuff out.
And I remember I was like, I don't need to watch the rest of the movie. I think I zoned out, and I was like, just tell me if I was right, and I was.
Sometimes if you catch that, you zoned out. That was an awesome movie.
But what's the point if you already know who the killer is?
You got to see how it ends. Come on.
Yeah. I was young.
But anyways, we're at the end of the movie.
Right. Jess is laying in the bed.
And they think they got the killer because they think Peter's dead.
Right. They think they got him.
Yeah,
and the cops certainly suspected him, and there's every reason to suspect it could have been him.
And the doctor, she's out cold, Jess, and the doctor says, because they want to question her, and he's like, she won't be good to talk to till tomorrow afternoon or something. Like she needs.
You're like, give her some Narcan, wake her up.
she needs a full 24 hours.
And then poor Mr. Harrison still hasn't found his daughter. They still don't know what's going on. He ends up passing out.
Yeah, he's kind of like, heart attack kind of thing going on.
Who knows? And they have to drag him out of the house and call an ambulance or whatever.
And they leave her alone. They turn off the light.
I think when they do pan away from the house, you do see somebody on the porch. I think there is an officer on the porch. But in the house, she's completely by herself.
Yeah. I mean,
until you got all your facts straight, You
don't leave her by herself.
No, I wouldn't think so.
You leave that cop up by her bedroom door.
That's what I would do.
Isn't that what they would do? They'd always do that. Well, there's always somebody outside your room.
Canada.
Not outside your house.
I don't know.
Okay, the killer wasn't. Although, they think nothing's going on.
Right.
The killer's caught.
The camera starts panning away from Jess asleep in her bed,
mm-hmm.
out of the house.
Yep.
We make our way out of the house,
yeah.
And you hear the voice talking again. This is Billy and Agnes.
Disturbing voice,
right?
Man.
So the killer is still in the house. We know that, and
because they show the attic.
Like I said, you could still see the guy's daughter up there in that rocking chair.
Yeah, and they pan to that little
because they go up
too,
there,
and you see it kind of like...
Yeah, they pan out of that window, and then you start seeing the house, and you can tell, when you look back, you're like, there she is, she's right there. Somebody look up! You know, she's right there.
Nobody, yeah, you wouldn't... Well, you know, again, they caught the killer, they think, so they're not going to do a thorough search.
Yeah, they find 2 more bodies, because Ms. Mack is still up there, too.
They do mention in the room when Jess is out cold there that forensic team and stuff are on their way.
Yeah, well.
But in the meantime, let's everybody get out of here.
Yeah, everybody leave.
Turn the
Let's
light
just leave
off.
her alone. Let her sleep.
Let her sleep.
Don't take her to a hospital or anything.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's another thing.
But it's a real slow...
This isn't 1940s. This is 1974.
You go to that house calls, I guess. Well, you know, Canada, they got everybody's covered for free. I don't know, maybe it's something like that. But it is interesting. It's a real slow pan through the house. And Halloween kind of did that too. Well, in that it kind of flashed on all the rooms in the house where the carnage happened. Up to the attic, you see Mrs. Mack again with the hook through her throat.
Yeah, they show the attic where everything.
Claire with the
2 bodies still up there
in the rocking chair with the doll.
Yeah,
and even I remember you can even see like the plastic is like in her mouth, like if you inhaled it.
Yeah, it's a disturbing scene.
It is. You know, I remember that was like the cover of the DVD when it first came out ages ago. Just the girl with the plastic on her face.
They wouldn't have that now though.
And they I don't know, and they just pan out of the window, and you could see her. Right there in the window. Yeah,
it's kind of lit up from the lights and stuff.
And you hear the voice, and then as the end credits roll, you hear the phone ringing throughout all the credits rolling.
Yeah.
and that's the end of the film, where it's left ambiguous. You don't know the fate of the last girl.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
you never know who the killer is, what the motivation was, what this whole Billy Agnes thing was all about. Some people may not like that. I kind of dig, that things are left open. It makes it more, it stays with you longer, I think, because of that. That's why I always remember this movie, because I remember the friggin' end of the movie.
Well, yeah, it was an interesting ending. I mean, they left nothing to,
And I know that when they released it in America, I think it came out through Warner Bros. Warner Bros. Really wanted, an ending. Can you, put some line of dialogue in there and do that? And no, this is the way it's supposed to be. And from on to there, it's a Christmas story.
There, yeah. That's what I liked about some of these, original older movies like this, because they're one of a kind. I mean,
lots of movies, Hitchcock, like in The Birds. Mm-hmm. You never find out why them birds are doing that.
No.
All them birds attacking people, never know why.
Great movie.
None of the birds are talking.
Well, the birds can't talk.
Well,
they're not
some
parrots.
Birds talk.
There is a movie that they did redo called The Parrots. And it's the same concept. They're flying all around.
I want a cracker.
No, these ones were talking though.
What are they saying?
We're going to kill you.
Wasn't that movie? We
want more food.
Wasn't that movie with a little bird walking around?
No, this was a horror movie, just like The Birds.
Okay.
It was called The Parrots.
Huh.
It was done by Alfred John Cox. It was his late cousin or something that just got some script that he found on the floor next to The Birds.
Yeah.
It's just laying there. And he picked it up and went
like the
with
one
it.
they didn't do. They were going to do that movie.
But he did it. And I think it went straight to DVD in 1999.
Okay.
And
I missed that one. Is it out of print? It's got to be in print.
You might be able to find it somewhere.
Maybe it's on Blu-ray, 4K.
But yeah, I mean, they kind of went with the same actors and stuff like that.
All the same actors.
And but it was parrots, and they flew around. And I don't know how there wasn't too much CGI. It was early.
They used real parrots.
Yeah, but there were hundreds of them.
Well, they just rounded them up.
And they're like just scratching at these guys.
I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, and they said, "I'm gonna kill you. I'm a parrot."
But they never tell you why they did it.
They never tell you why they did it. Anyway, see a star.
What, people leaving? Don't matter.
Whoever else is leaving, movie over.
Let's talk about malls, and we didn't talk about.
We didn't talk about
James Bond at all.
We didn't talk about.
This is like the first podcast in 3 weeks we haven't talked about Bond.
Bond, yeah. Well, let's see. Well, The Man with the Golden Gun is the last one I've seen. I'll catch up on it. Well, I'm
All right.
Got to get another one here going soon. So.
But
anyways,
that takes us to the end. Cool movie.
I think we're still going to do Silent Night.
Yeah, you know what? There's one more Monday left in December. We can't do this properly without doing Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original one.
Okay.
And so we want you all to have a Merry Christmas, but come back the weekend after Monday, because we're going to do Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yes.
Which I purposely wanted to save for last, because I think it's just a hilarious movie. It's fun.
Yeah, oh no, we'll have fun with this, for sure.
That movie is fun as hell.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, we're going to be just the weekend past, because New Year's is a weekend.
I think we'll do New Year's Evil. Unless we find something, we'll let you know.
If there's another New Year's horror movie, let me know, because it was the only one I could find.
There's a foreign one I was looking into.
Foreign?
Yeah.
A foreign movie?
You don't like the subtitles, huh?
No, they don't bother me. Please.
Okay, then I'll let you know.
3.5 hours long with subtitles.
I'll let you know.
No, I don't care. No, I'll do whatever.
We'll figure it out.
So, we've got two more holiday movies coming up.
And then we're going to go hardcore and see. You're going to find out what me and Ted love.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to go 3 hours.
Oh, yeah. We're going to do that, too. Yeah.
Get ready, because it's on.
Yeah, we're going to do a mad world. We're going to do a marathon.
I think we should have an overture and an intermission during that podcast.
Not horror. It's comedy, but what the heck?
It's horribly funny.
It's horribly fun. And we'll put scary stuff in there. I'll throw blood all over Ted.
Yeah.
And
I'll take my shirt off.
We'll cut ourselves with plastic McDonald's forks. It won't do nothing to us. But
yes, we have to have an overture and an intermission. But during the intermission,
overture,
we'll stop what we're doing, but we'll just let this go.
Okay.
And, we'll go get a snack and come back and talk.
Yeah. Yes, I'll take a potty break.
Of my urinal here.
Your urinal.
The urinal.
Oh, no.
You didn't know he's used it twice in the whole podcast. I got to sit here and watch this. He said, so you can't see anything under this table.
Isn't that what an empty water... Everybody's left now. They don't want to hear us.
Nobody's left. All right.
They don't want to hear us babble on about... That's funny. Merry Christmas, you guys. Thanks for reviewing this awesome film. No problem, man.
So, Silent Night, Deadly Night, the one you've all been waiting
for. Without a doubt. We'll do that next week.
All right.
And
have a safe Christmas. Merry Christmas. Hope you get all the toys you want.
Yes.
And we will be back for one more, because there's one more Monday left.
Yes. So, Merry Christmas, man.